conversational skills to keep him hooked and coming back for more. We'll see you right after this. Hello and welcome back to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. My name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert, founder of the Black Swan Relationship Academy, right here where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. So you are indeed at the right channel, and we're going to be talking about some skills that are really effective when it comes to having a conversation with a man and really kind of make him, when you put the phone down, or whether it's a first date or even a chat online or in your relationship with your husband, with your partner, in an exclusive relationship, it doesn't matter where you are in this relationship model, you are going to keep this man hooked. He's going to be excited about having conversation with you. See, it's not just about asking for a call. It's not just about, oh, I'd love to hear it. You want to excite a man so much and keep the conversation fruitful and exciting for both of you. You want to create enough excitement within yourself and create that excitement in a conversation that makes him want to talk to you, that makes him want to have another conversation. In fact, you want to practice these skills on everybody. So let's get into it. Number one, gracious. Be gracious. What does that look like? It looks like on a dating app, hey, thank you so much for making the first call or messaging me first. It's so wonderful to meet a masculine man. It's just being gracious. You don't have to say it, but already you're setting the tone that I appreciate you. I am really appreciative that you've chosen to be the masculine in this dynamic, in this moment. Because we all know what it's like on these dating apps, or when we are at a party or in a social event. It's the same annoying fact of a man that clearly likes you, you like him, you signaled him, and he's just dilly-dallying, needing you to literally do everything. We know how annoying that is. But when a guy does some of that energy and that confidence and gets over himself and walks up over to you, thank him. Say to him, really, I appreciate the gesture of you coming over and saying hello. Whether you like him or not, whether you want anything else or not, appreciate him for it. Give him props for it, because it does take a lot of courage to come talking to a girl who looks like you know. And I want you to consider, if you are on a dating app, thank you so much for sending me a message first. It's always so refreshing to talk to a man who is comfortable making the first move. This sets an incredible dynamic to conversations. If a guy calls you after you've been talking on a date, thank you so much for making the call. I really appreciate you, taking that extra bit of time. It makes me feel like you're investing in this, and, regardless of what ends up of it, I always think so very highly of you. Be gracious. It's perfectly okay to be gracious and thankful and appreciative to a man who is really showing up for you in a way that is really high value. So that's point number one. Number two, be authentic. I'm going to say this over and over again. If he says to you, hey, how was your day? You don't have to be Betty Boop with all the right answers. You can simply say, hey, my day was fantastic. Thank you so much. If it wasn't great, you can say, you know what? I really appreciate you asking. wasn't a very good day today, but I'm glad I'm here and I know I'm going to have a fantastic time. Give a true and authentic answer. Sometimes we feel in order to be high value. Yes, I teach you ladies to always be happy, but that joy and that happiness has to truly come from within. At the end of the day, this man really wants to get to know you. No, he doesn't want your sob story, and he definitely doesn't want you complaining about your day at work. But he does want to know your truest self, your authentic self. And if you've had a bad day and it hasn't gone so well, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm feeling better. Thank you for asking. It wasn't a very wonderful day, but we're not going to go into it. But I really appreciate you asking. That way he knows that actually she's not the kind of girl who would just tell me what I need to hear. She's genuinely authentic. And that authenticity is really the beginning of true connection. Okay, we want to truly create avenues for connection. So when we're authentic and truthful about how our day is going and about the reality of how our day is going, whatever it is, without complaining, without moaning, without bitching, but we're just being completely honest, this is authentic, and these are great conversational skills. Number 2, be generous in your conversation. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're finding that the man is having a hard time having a conversation, some guys have really bad conversational skills, but they like you, you can tell they're effortful, they're making the effort. It's okay for you to be generous when he says, you know, what do you think of your food? You know, what do you think of what you're eating? Are you enjoying your meal? It's really fantastic. I really, really love the taste of the lamb or whatever, the veg or whatever it is. It's got this really mommy taste, you know, like takes me back to when I was growing up, and give him something to build upon. Talk about your childhood, or talk about a memory that food brought, or talk about something that allows the other person to have so many hooks into that conversation. But don't over talk, of course, and please do not try to rescue the conversation. What I'm saying is, if he's obviously not making any effort to have a conversation, you don't need to be out here laboring like a woman in childbirth, okay? You don't need to be out here trying to, you know, get him out of his skin. But you can be generous in your responses. You can share a story and or a little funny joke, or you know, something that can liven and create opportunity for further conversation. And this is skills that you really want to use everywhere you go. Use stories to connect, and then, you know, that should hopefully spark something in him or make him feel more comfortable to share something that is useful for the conversation. And, you know, if a man knows talking to you is going to be easy, he's more likely to pick up the phone. He's more likely to text, because talking to you is not burdensome. It's not laborious. There are 2 types of women. One that positions herself to be a winner using a man's very own nature. We call that woman a black swan. Or a woman who is convinced that she can scream, shout, and complain and change a man's nature. Now, if you are a black swan, I have decided to help you out. Ladies, I am offering you a free, yes, another free masterclass on the secrets of a man's mind. In this course, we're going to look at the things that men will never tell you, are afraid to tell you, don't even know they need to tell you, assume you should know. We're going to look at the man's brain, how he is wired, his heart, his spirit. How does he really think? What is going on in his mind when he meets you, marries you, dates you, courts you? We're going to look through every aspect, and you will be able to understand the secrets of a man's mind. And being a black swan, you will be able to use those secrets to create the love life you crave and deserve. If that sounds good to you, all you have to do is follow any of the links or wherever you see this video, and I will see you on the other side. Number 4, sincere. Be sincere. It's okay if you forget the details that he gave you. It's okay if you've forgotten what he does for a living. It's okay if you've forgotten his children's names. It's okay if you've forgotten to do something. It's absolutely okay. Make it okay for you to not be perfect at remembering everything. And simply ask. Ask him, I'm really sorry. I've forgotten your daughter's name. Would you be happy to remind me? Oh, I'm sorry. I know you've mentioned this before, but I don't remember what you said you did for a living. Would you be happy to remind me? We don't need to be insincere and start saying and trying finding ways around. Be sincere. The experience that somebody will have of you when you're a sincere human being is really very grounding in them. They're gonna want to be around truth. I mean, we live in a world where there's so much falsehood. People are pretending to be what they're not. People are putting on avatars and shows that it's really very fulfilling and gratifying to the soul of any man or any woman when you meet somebody who's genuinely sincere. And you're gonna build trust way more quickly in a relationship dynamic, or whether you are in your relationship or starting a relationship. You were definitely going, if your husband or your partner says something and you've forgotten, instead of acting like you remember, just sincerely say, sweetheart, I don't actually remember. I know you've told me and I'm so sorry that I've forgotten. Would you mind telling me again? This is how we create a deeper emotional trust. And as women, we've been taught that we don't need to build emotional trust with men, that they are the emotional gatekeepers. They're the ones that just, don't feel anything. But a man, for him to ultimately choose you for his forever, or somebody that he will take seriously, or somebody that he will, go exclusive with, or somebody he won't want to ever cheat on or lose in his relationship, he's got to have that emotional connection to you. He's got to feel the fabric of your emotional body. He's got to touch base with that emotional body and know you emotionally without you purging. And that starts by signaling him, by just being sincere. He needs to know that this girl is genuine and she is sincere. So if you don't remember, ask him. If you don't understand, ask him. If you feel something that might even be offensive to him, say it. Be authentic and be sincere. Last but not least, try not to be transactional in conversations. I know that I teach on this channel that relationships are transactional. I truly believe they are. Transactional being that relationships are not about I give money, you give, physical intimacy. We're not kind of creating those blatant transactions, even though that is a valid relationship transaction. I'm talking about just this feeling that I will only be myself if you're yourself. I will only share this when you share this. I will only show up as me if you show up as you. It's okay for us to be who we are, to show up as we are, and to really just not need the other person to give back equally. Like, I don't need you to be sincere with me for me to be sincere with you. I don't need you to be authentic with me for me to be authentic with you. I don't need you to do tit for tat. It's okay for me to be a sincere conversationalist. It's okay for me to be authentic. It's okay for me to be thoughtful and gracious without that needing to come back to me in exactly the same way. Because the black swan understands that she has the whole lake. It's her job to grace it with her presence, not figure out who else is swimming alongside her. And she hopes that if she shows up 100% of who she is at her best, that man will honor her by doing exactly the same. But if he doesn't, it doesn't mean that he's a less than. It just means that he hasn't developed himself or his skills, or doesn't feel safe, or he's been through a lot. It's okay. Not every guy is out here watching Black Swan videos and learning the Black Swan way and joining the Black Swan Nation yet. But, people just haven't learned those skills. And what I have learned in relationships is that when we give ourselves permission to be authentic, to be ourselves, to be gracious, when we show up, we give other people inadvertently the freedom to show up for us. We create an atmosphere for other people that allows them to reflect us. Because the truth is, we all want to be ourselves. And there is no one more amazing than the person who's themselves, unapologetically, but the version of themselves that they love and they want to show to the world. Not the version of themselves that they're ashamed of or they haven't worked through, but the version of ourselves that we love, the things we love about who we are. And if you don't have things that you love about who you are, then Houston, we have a problem. We have a huge problem. We need to work on those things. And of course, I invite you to join the Black Swan Nation. I invite you to book a discovery call with my coaches and I. And I know that this is the Relationship Academy. And I've heard, some of you ladies want to just do some life coaching. You just want to work through your, relationship with your siblings or your relationship with your children. We are here to help you, albeit our focus is on romantic relationships. Relationships are relationships. And how we do one relationship is how we do all our relationships. You just don't see it because is covered under the veil of other relationships. But of course, a romantic relationship is the most triggering, is the deepest relationship, because it's the one thing where we give of ourselves in a way that we don't with other people. And so I love romantic relationships because they really do expose the wound faster and more clearly. So of course, we are happy to help you with any relationship dynamic, whether it's a relationship dynamic at work that is unfolding, or relationship dynamic with your children, with your parents, or whoever it is. The Black Swan Relationship Academy will help you with every dynamic that you need to be a healthy human that flourishes in every way. That is the Black Swan way. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. In the meantime, do take care of you. Bye-bye now.